So there's going to be a new format for the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. The federation announced there's only going to be 80 teams instead of the 105 I think there was last year. And
Yeah.
with all the new teams in USL, it was probably going to go up to like 120. It was going to be excessive. So it's going to be 80 teams. The big news here is still only 16 MLS teams, the ones that aren't going to Leagues Cup, but only the independent MLS Next Pro teams are going to be involved. So that's a big cut in team.
Yeah.
And then only the playoff teams for the USL are going to make it. So that's another big cutoff. And none of the new teams that are joining USL or are professional ranks are going to make it. So that kind of sucks. I was looking forward to the Cosmos. You know,
Yeah.
that was the storyline and all that good stuff. Boise as well. Fort Wayne, brand new stadium. That would have been fun to see Chicago drive down to Fort Wayne for that.
Yeah,
But none of those new teams,
actually.
none of those new teams are going to make it. The only upside to this is that the 32 open division spots still exist. So all the amateur teams that would have qualified are still going to qualify. So, Hubert, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, as someone who's wanted the Open Cup to be treated more seriously, this, it's upsetting. But at this point, I'm not expecting the respect anyways. I'll be honest with you. I might just be burned out on trying to keep this thing going. But I'm bummed about it. I think it's weird that we're only getting 2 MLS Next Pro teams, although I'll be honest, I wasn't super excited about having the Next Pro teams in it. I'm more surprised at how many less USL teams are in it. I think for a while there, what really led the charge to keep this trophy going was the USL involvement, which I thought was cool. I'm curious what happens if we do end up having a holdout with the USL Championship with these teams in the Open Cup. Do we know anything about that? How that would play out theoretically?
The Open Cup isn't until a couple. It takes a while for them to come in.
You would assume that shit would get worked out by then.
Yeah.
I was just curious if it did end up that far, how that would work. I'm excited that we still have the open division spots. Get your teams like a Farolito and stuff like that. Got to root for the Burrito Boys, but yeah, I'm disappointed, but I'm kind of just hoping it's because it's a weird year.
No, I mean, here's the thing.
I don't think that's why, but I'm hoping it is.
This is the thing. Once a thing happens, this is what's frustrating me about the World Cup is that once a thing happens once, we never go backwards. Prices never go down, right? We had to do this for inflation, but once inflation goes away, do we lower the prices? Not a chance in hell. The same thing with 5 subs. Oh, we're just doing this for COVID. That's never going away. So we're clear about that. So once it happens, it won't unhappen.
That's not a rule, but yes, there does happen.
Slippery slope. Yeah. It's a red herring. It's a fallacy. Yeah, all that good stuff.
No, let me tell you why you're wrong.
Let me tell you why you're
slippery slope assumes that things happen automatically, but it's only true because people have this recency bias about it.
Let me use college words for you, unlike that Oklahoma University student who wrote a shitty paper and got mad about it.
I'm not allowed to talk about that.
I am. That was a shitty non-college level paper, and don't try to bullshit me and be like, "Oh, I was only doing it because it said so," but you don't even cite the source. If you're going to talk about the Bible, cite the Bible, right? That's all I'm saying, right? Or cite whatever holy book you want to use.
But anyway, I will say, not even citing that book is like.
Yeah, cite whatever book. Yeah. No matter what the source material is, unless it's Wikipedia, we don't do that shit here. Okay, get your shit together. As someone who has taken master level courses and working on a master's degree, that paper was trash, and any decent professor would have thrown that in the trash. Anyways, Dennis, any thoughts on the new format?
Yeah, I mean, I disliked the idea of MLS teams not playing last year.
Yeah.
But I was okay with the caveat that you were able to enter your second team as essentially as a fill-in. I think they should have been wearing first team jerseys regardless, representing the first team, but that's neither here nor there. I don't like that the MLS is just completely walking away from this, it feels like. And as my FC Dallas supporter brain goes, I'm really, really unhappy that we are not playing in the tournament that the trophy is named after the founder of this club.
Yeah, go ahead and scratch that name off.
Somebody said in our I think it was in our Discord earlier this week. It's like, I don't ever want to hear the Hunts talk about Lamar's legacy again. If you really wanted to be in this tournament, you would in one way or another, right? Like, if they really wanted a team in this tournament, the Hunts could make some phone calls and say, look, we want our next pro team in there. We want our academy kids to have a chance at playing in this. Do something, right? Maybe it's the U23 team, that new U23 squad. Let them run through this. Like, every team should have to field at the first division, whether it's MLS, USL, a third league that pops up. I think every team should be in this tournament. Unfortunately, this tournament just doesn't have, and I know they increased the prize pool and the top prizes and everything else, and that ideally will make it better long term. But until there is a massive sponsor and a massive TV deal to really bring in money, I don't think it's lucrative enough to make these MLS and even these top USL owners want to be a part of it. So if that's the case, the federation needs to force their hand, right? The federation needs to say, if you want to be a sanctioned league, your teams need to show up, right? And we know that this federation doesn't have the balls to do that.
First place gets a Champions League berth, right?
No. Well, yeah, they do. You get a Champions League berth and 400,000 payout.
Yeah, honestly, it surprised me that more players.
I thought the top payout went to $1 million now.
No, the overall pool of payout is $1 million.
Oh,
yeah.
Either way, I'm surprised more teams don't fight harder to get that berth, personally, especially these like not even quote unquote top tier MLS teams.
Yeah, but they make more. They make $1 million, like $6 or $7 million, just to be in the League Cup. So
yeah, it's fair enough. Yeah, money.
I have always been a proponent of the federation only shows power when it hurts everybody else except MLS, and that run is continuing on with this decision.
Well, and moreover, even the times when they have done anything, it's been pathetic.
Yeah. Someone did point out to me, though, they were like, why did USL give in? And I'm like, I don't think you realize this is 3D chess. The USL is trying to get carve-outs for its promotion, relegation, and Division 1. Yep. They are not in a position right now to fight the federation. So they're just going to go along. They're going to play along to go along. And I'm not mad at it because those changes, those PLS changes need to happen. So if you have to do this, also, this might be incentive for the USL teams to not flake at the end of the season and, put in some work and, but whatever.
And you know what? The value of the cup is only if everyone's involved anyways. So
yes,
if USL has a full buy, it's still not really the value of the cup. Just do the Jägermeister Cup. It's good.
That is the play.
The Jägermeister Cup is just as valuable at this point.
At this point, you do what's funny is the payout for the Jägermeister Cup is 300,000. The payout for the Open Cup is 400,000. So it's like I win.
And by the way, watch the Jägermeister Cup. It's a great tournament.
It is a fantastic tournament. It's a lot of fun.
Although it's USL Cup. I think Jägermeister's contract ended last year.
So okay.
They get a new sponsor. Or maybe it was a 3-year deal.
The Malort Cup it is.
I'm just saying it is an easy thing to sell. Hopefully they pick a name that always makes it sound cool. Like Jägermeister Cup sounds awesome.
It does sound
sick. I don't want it to be Milwaukee's Best Cup next year or MGM Bets Cup next year or whatever the
Winston
fuck
Cup.
No,
sorry, that was something.
I mean, the way the betting stuff is going, it'll probably end up being one of those.
It probably will be a betting company.
The DraftKings Cup. Yeah.
I hate
that's
that.
What it's gonna be. I hate it.
I'm not mad. Make it $1 million payout. Let's make it work. Yeah, I mean, let's fingers crossed. This is a hiccup for the World Cup, and then we go back to having all the professional teams, at least for USL. Because for USL, this is the big thing that gives them a measuring stick against MLS, right?
Yeah.
So,
and fingers crossed that whatever USL teams are in this, like we get a winner and they're in this competition and like the bigger competition after this. Like, let's go.
That'd be awesome.
I'd love it.
The goal is to have a USL club team in the Champions League. I think that'd be awesome.
It'll be scenes when I don't know who would I pick. Let's say New Mexico United beats Club America in the final of the Champions League.
That would be sick. That would be absolutely sick to watch.
Right.
The battle at the border.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Not though.
They would prefer. It really isn't. They would prefer Louisville, just for
Yeah.
Louisville is USL's version of LA Galaxy.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough.
Like, whatever favoritism we can show, we will make sure it happens. But yeah, that is the new format. It's good, bad, or indifferent. It just is. Hopefully, this USL does get some concessions out of this decision, but
Let's hope.
Save the
All
cup
right.
and give us a women's
Always
cup.
save the cup. Yes. Oh yeah, we were going to talk about that.
Please,
Dennis.
Women's Cup.
I
would
think we
love
should
a women's
advocate.
Open Cup.
Yeah, we should advocate for that for year 27. Also, what do you think is going to be the issue when MLS changes the calendar with the Open Cup? Because right now the Open Cup runs through the summer. So that's going to be another issue that has to be solved. The Open Cup is going to have to move, which means USL is going to have to move. It's going to be a shit.
The Open Cup doesn't have to move. You can still enter your team. I think it gives them more of an opportunity to say enter your teams and make this your. You can make the group round or whatever the first rounds are, not the group, but you know what I mean. That they're the early rounds. You can make that your MLS preseason.
I think that Major League Soccer will probably use as more an excuse to get out of it.
I'm sure it will, but if you wanted to do it right, you can make that your preseason, and then the tournament starts. You can play meaningful games during the course of your season.
The issue is I don't think the Players Association would be on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think they're going to be done. Right. Again, but here's the thing: the Federation actually has absolute power on this because everyone agrees. Part of the PLS that they use to browbeat every other division says you have to compete in all domestic competitions. The only domestic competition there is the U.S. Open Cup.
Right.
Right. So that's the only one.
Written. It is literally written.
This is not like
guys. It's 2025, and this is the United States. What's written down doesn't matter anymore.
Fair enough. Yeah.
This is not like Pro Rel and Sporting Merit where there's a caveat.
No. This is literally written in stone.
Yeah, you get to pick what Sporting Merit means. In this case, it says all domestic cups, and this is the only domestic cup. So, I mean, I guess the way to get around that is to kill off the domestic cup, and then it doesn't matter either way.
I mean, that's probably the goal, I assume. Well, while we're talking open cup stuff, we mentioned a women's Open Cup concept. What does that look like to you? Because to me, if you could get Mexico and Canada on board with making it a just North American Open Cup, I think they'd be sick, and I think they'd be open to that more than the men would.
Oh, I think you have that already in the you have the CONCACAF Women's League already. So that exists, but I would love to see an American a U.S. Open Cup, a women's Open Cup, right? Like, and Marcus and I were talking about this earlier today too. But like even just to get started with 32 teams, right? Like you've got the NWSL, you've got the Super League, and you've got the USLW, right? And there's talks of potentially a second layer of NWSL teams at some point, and whatever else, and
the WPSL.
Yeah. By the time we get to 2031, when the U.S. is hosting the Women's World Cup, I think a U.S. Open Cup for the women's leagues here is completely warranted. That being said, I think they should expand the CONCACAF W League as well, and I can't wait to see the Super League team starting to play in that comp as well.
Yeah. At this rate, it'll be Lexington, but we know how regular season and playoffs aren't the same thing. Although in this case, since you only have to win 2 games in the playoff,
it's not that much actually.
Yeah, it's like it's a continuation of the regular season. It's like, but yeah. So shout out to them. It'd be dope if Trinity can rebound. All right.